Hi, this is Tony Robbins. I want to thank you for your interest in Personal Power 2, The Driving Force, our 30-day program for unlimited success. If you're listening to this tape now, you probably saw our television program on personal power, and I want to thank you for taking the time and the energy to find out more information about the program. I think too often in life, most people fail to achieve what they want simply because they see something that may have real value for their life, real potential, but they don't take any action on it. The fact that you've made this phone call and you're willing to listen to this tape now says to me you're the kind of person that's willing to get more information and make an intelligent decision now. So I want to compliment you for that. In the short time we've got together, I'd like to just chat with you about what this program is really about, a little bit about my own background and how this technology is really unique and different than virtually anything else I've had the privilege to be a part of or exposed to, and how you can use it to immediately make massive changes in your life, to turn your dreams into a true reality. Pretty big claim, but I think when you find out the information, you'll agree with it. First of all, I want to say to you that I believe there are 4 major lessons in life that are a minimum standard for ultimate life success. They are, number 1, you and I must learn to manage our emotional states. What I mean by that is success in and of itself does not guarantee lifelong happiness or joy. See, John Belushi never learned how to manage his emotional states. Neither did Elvis Presley or Freddie Prinze or Marilyn Monroe. I mean, the list goes on, and those are just the famous names. In my own life, I grew up in an environment where I saw people who did not know how to manage their emotional states, and it created so much pain. How about in yours? Do you have family members that constantly fight or struggle with frustration or anger or depression or just a feeling of hopelessness? Do you personally ever get in a place where you feel overwhelmed? Maybe you're a real successful person, but God, there's so much coming at you so fast that you create a tremendous amount of stress. Or maybe you're in a worse situation. That is, you don't really have a clear picture of your future. All I can say to you is, no matter how well you do in your life, no matter how much money you make, how great your relationships become, no matter what it is that you do or achieve, you will still come to the end and say, is this all there is if you don't learn how to manage your emotions with absolute precision and power? And you and I have the ability to do that. Everything that we feel inside of our bodies, every emotion, whether it be depression or ecstasy, we generate and we create. And everything that we do in this program is to show you how to get more juice out of life, how to get more of the power and the joy and the happiness you deserve wherever you are. Hey, I used to be one of those people who live by the principle of, well, someday, somehow, someone, some way, and then I'll be happy. Are you caught in that trap at all? It's like, well, once I achieve this level, then I'll be happy all the time. Or once I get in this relationship and the relationship's working, then everything will be great. Or once I have some children, boy, then my whole life will be greater. Hey, you and I both know it's a lie. The only way our life gets greater is if we become more. See, nothing you achieve in your life, nothing you get will ever make you happy. But who you become as a person can make you incredibly happy. Hey, think about it. The only times that you're truly happy long term are when you feel like you're continually growing as a person. See, I don't care how successful you are. I don't care what level of achievement you've obtained in your life. If you don't feel like you're continually growing and expanding, you're going to feel frustrated inside, or you're going to feel bored, or you're going to be angry with yourself. Because it doesn't matter how you compare with your friends. What matters is how you compare with what your potential is. And if you're growing, you feel alive and you feel excited. And if you're not, you're going to turn to drugs or alcohol or cigarettes or television or something to try and distract you from the fact that you aren't expanding as a human being. This program is designed to make sure that every single day, with an average of 30 to 45 minutes, you can make a measurable change in the quality of your life. And each day, you build on the day before. Each day you develop more muscle and the ability to exert your own personal power, your own will to achieve, your own ability to influence yourself and other people. So that's what the essence of this program is. How do we manage our emotional states so we get the success that we truly deserve? And I really want that for you. And I doubt very seriously if you would have taken the time to follow up with us unless you really wanted that as well. So all I'm asking you to do is think consciously. If you were to master your emotional states, what would happen in your life? How valuable would that be for you? Here's the second lesson. Lesson number 2 is how to master our physical body. Now, what I mean by that is not just making ourselves look good, although obviously that's valuable. When we feel like we look better, when we have a great appearance, then sure enough, we have a level of self-esteem and self-image that allows us to have more confidence, to really go for it. When you look in the mirror and you know you're overweight, or you know that your body is beginning to deteriorate, then you know that that affects how you feel about yourself, and how you feel about yourself affects the way you treat other people, what you're willing to try or not try. But I'm also talking about a step beyond that. And the step beyond that is your level of personal energy. See, I believe success in life is very simple. All that's necessary to succeed truly are three things. Number one, you've got to get absolutely clear on what it is that you want in your life. Personally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, in your relationships, and in your career. Now, when you ask 99% of the population, what is it you want? They can't tell you. Or they say things like, well, I don't know. Or I like a better job. I'd like a better relationship. Well, guess what? If your goals are that general, then you're never going to achieve them. What you have to do is get absolutely clear on what you want. And part of this program is a 2-cassette album designed to put you through a workshop where you really get clear, maybe for the first time in your life, exactly what you want with precision. And then you go to step 2. You develop a plan on how to achieve it. See, most people don't know what they want. Even fewer people know what they want and have developed a plan. So what we'll do is show you how to make sure that you got a plan that works. Now, how do we do that? Well, we show you how to role model some of the most successful people in the country. In other words, I believe in modeling. What does modeling mean? It means once I know what I want, I look around. I say, who is it around me who is already getting that result? Maybe I don't even know them personally. How are they getting that result? What are they doing each and every day? See, I believe success leaves clues. That if people succeed, they do certain things day after day after day. And if you and I take the same kinds of actions, we can get the same kinds of results. As you sow, so shall you reap. So the bottom line is, you don't want to reinvent the wheel, which is what most people do. Most people in life learn by trial and error. They finally get a goal, and they take their best foot forward to try and make it happen, but it's frustrating. It may take 10 years to learn how to finally achieve it. I have the good fortune of having surpassed my wildest dreams in terms of the quality of my life and my relationships and my emotions and my physical body and in my finances. All of that has not happened by chance. I was a mess. Just picture this, if you would. 1, living in a 400 square foot bachelor apartment, having been somewhat successful before and sabotaged it all, wiped it out financially, so I was totally broke, hiding out from my creditors. I'd gone from a nickname when I was in newspapers and magazines as a real successful young man. They called me Wonder Boy. My new nickname was just Boy. Right? Second thing, here I am living in this apartment. What's my physical body like? Well, it's real simple. I didn't have very much self-esteem. I didn't like the way I was living. I knew I wasn't growing. Sure enough, I used food like a drug. I gained 38.5 pounds in 2.5 months. That is not easy to do. You have to eat tons of food and not move very much to pull that off, which I managed to do. I was in a relationship with a lady I liked but didn't love, and I didn't have enough guts or enough clarity to communicate, hey, here's how I really feel. I just allowed myself to fall into the trap of settling for less than I really wanted in a relationship and then trying to justify it. And I found myself in a place where I literally had no hope, and I certainly was broke financially. I mean, I could barely make my payments on a 400 square foot bachelor apartment. In 12 months, I changed all of that. And one of the first places I started was with my physical body. Because when I took control of that, it changed my self-esteem. I lost 30 pounds in 30 days with the program you're going to learn about in Personal Power. I took these simple principles that you'll learn here, and I increased my energy. I wasn't even trying to lose weight. But as my energy went up, my body got more efficient, my metabolism changed, and wham, I started losing weight like it was going out of style. More importantly, my energy exploded, and with that level of energy and the confidence I developed, all of a sudden I was willing to take action in all kinds of areas I wasn't willing to do before. It changed my life in virtually every way. That physical vitality is the essence of life. Again, you can manage your emotions, but if you don't take care of your body, you're going to be in a horrible emotional state because your body will become your prison. This program will show you how to master your physical energy to achieve lifelong success. Hey, let me ask you, have you ever woken up in the morning and you had a day where you felt like, oh, God, not another Monday? Have you had any of those days? Those are the days I used to live by. Now my Mondays are better than most people's Christmases. And the reason is because I've got a level of energy when I wake up, a level of physical vibrancy that's changed me. Haven't you had a day like that too? Seriously, think. Have you had a day where you woke up and for whatever reason you felt physically vibrant and strong, totally alive? Have you had a day like that? How did your day go? Even if you had challenges, you're able to handle those challenges much more quickly. So please consider how important, what would happen in your life if you really mastered your physical level of energy and were able to massively increase the quality of your physical body so that you not only looked good, but you felt phenomenal physically? How would that change your relationships? How would that change your economics, your career, your ability to influence your children, your ability to influence yourself to take action now? I think that you'd find that if you'll master this area, it changes the quality of your life in virtually every area. You don't want to run out of gas when you're climbing the mountain of success. Here's a way to change it all. Here's the third major lesson that I think most of us have never really mastered, but it's the most critical one of all, I think, and that is how to master our relationships. Listen, you and I both know that we can go out there and crank like crazy and really try and make a success of our life. But if you succeed and you don't nurture and maintain and build the quality of the relationships of the people you care about around you, you pay the ultimate price. I think a lot of people fail to succeed because they link up in their head, well, gosh, it's lonely at the top. Well, that's just not true. There are plenty of people at the top. It's true the bottom is more crowded. But I can tell you this, that if you take care of your relationships along the way, you get to go to the top of the mountain and celebrate with the people you care about. That's what it's all about. Listen, nobody wants to be a Howard Hughes where you've succeeded in so many areas and you've created all kinds of great companies and you've made all these differences for other people's lives, but not in your own, and you have no one to celebrate it with. That's got to be the ultimate failure in my mind. What we all want to do, I think, is make a difference and feel loved and appreciated. But there are certain specific strategies that make the difference there. See, what I did is I was not happy in my relationship, so I went out and found a man who had the woman of my dreams. And I said, hey, how did you get this lady? I said, how did you attract her in the first place, and how come you guys have been married now for 15 years and you guys still seem to be passionate? Is it a game, or is it something you just do for the outside world, or is it true? And the bottom line is it was true. They weren't just hanging out together. See, most people don't last 15 months. And so I began to interview people. I got the unique opportunity of interviewing a couple that's been married for 60 years. Now you might say, well, aren't they lucky? They aren't lucky. They do certain things every day in their relationship that have built it to that level. And those things we're going to teach you in the tapes on relationship. You got to maintain this. Otherwise, you'll never have the personal joy that you really deserve. My best metaphor for you is I know there was a point in my life where I could walk in a room, and I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but I would feel alone in a room full of people because I didn't know how to initiate the contact, or I felt self-conscious, or I felt like, oh gosh, I'm not at the same level as some of these people. And what it did is it created a feeling of isolation. I can't think of anything that is more frustrating or more painful than to not have the ability to connect with people on a regular basis easily, without any effort, without any fear. That's what this program will do for you. In addition, what it showed me how to do is create a relationship with my children, with my wife, and with my business associates where we're all on the same team, where there's a level of closeness and connectiveness that goes well beyond anything I could dream of, where there is always total support for each other, and if there's an upset, we have a way to clean it up like that. Literally, where we don't go on and on like I did in the old days where I had arguments that last 2 or 3 hours where we're both stuck on an issue, where ending a relationship was part of what came up in the conversation, and where I was always afraid about, God, is the relationship going to last or not, or is this the right person? All that junk, it's gone. Within 12 months of applying what I'm going to teach you in personal power and relationships, I attracted the quality of woman that I wanted for the rest of my life, and I married her. I also decided I wanted to have 4 children. I got 3 immediately. What a deal. And I had to learn how to become a dad very quickly. So I went out and started modeling the best parents. I think most people fail in their relationships with their kids because they had never made it a study. Think about it. Most parents are what I call amateur parents. They love their children 100%, but they've never really paid attention as to how to really make the relationship work. All they do is model the way they were brought up. And a lot of them have a lot of problems and hang-ups. I don't know if you fall in this category, but I did. So I had to work really hard on myself. You'll learn this in the area of relationship. We got to master relationships to really make a difference in our life. The way I believe we can leave our mark on this world is through the impact we have on the relationships, through the people we've touched in our lives. If, even in a small way, we can change people's beliefs of what's possible, we can affect their destiny. And this program will show you not only how to enhance your closeness with people, but how can you positively influence the people you care about to help them to shape a new direction for their life. To me, that's what life's all about. That's what this program is for me. That is the emotional drive behind me behind this program, is thinking that, hey, you could pick this program up, and for 30 days, one day at a time, you can make 1 or 2 more distinctions, 1 or 2 more changes. So at the end of 30 days, there's a quantum shift in the quality of your life where you really have seen measurable changes. See, that's what I want, and what I'd like you to do when you get those is to write me a letter. That's what juices me. That's what makes me go. So when you get your tapes, if you remember that, I'd appreciate it. 4, the 4th lesson in life that's absolutely critical is the lesson of money. how to experience economic freedom on a consistent basis. Money has got to be one of the most emotionally charged issues that you can talk about with people. People usually fall into one of two extremes. Either they love money so much it's become their god. Their whole focus in life is how much am I making? What am I getting out of this thing? Well, if I'm going to do that, how much am I going to earn? And they're not only obnoxious, but they destroy their lives. They're what the Bible talked about when they talked about the love of money as the root of all evil. On the other extreme, though, you got people who throw in their pendulum who actually have contempt for anybody who has money and who basically try to live their life with virtually no abundance whatsoever, where they scorn the possibility of earning. I believe life is a balance, and I believe that you and I have the right and the desire and the ability to create economic freedom, financial independence. And it isn't difficult to do. It requires taking a few effective actions with whatever small amount of money you have, or large amount. But more importantly, it requires a change in your beliefs. Because I got to tell you something. Most people in life fail to achieve what they want financially, not because the opportunity isn't there. I mean, really, think about it. You and I live in a country that is considered by most to be the wealthiest in the world. There's more economic opportunity here than anywhere. And yet again, at the age of 65, 95% of the United States is either dead broke or dead. How could that possibly be? How come we can live in a capitalistic society when most of us aren't capitalists? We go to work for somebody and we don't use our capital. We earn capital, but we don't do anything with it. Why? It's not because there aren't enough plans. I mean, you can go to any library, you can walk into any bookstore, you can order any set of tapes on how to turn yourself around financially. All these programs that are out there on how to make a fortune through real estate, how to start your own company, how to start with nothing and build a fortune. The plans are out there. The actions are available. The problem is your beliefs. Your beliefs are the things that determine what you're willing to try or not try, what you're willing to do or not do. I mean, think about it. Have you ever had an experience where somebody asks you, hey, would you please get me the salt? And you walk into your kitchen and you're thinking to yourself, I don't know where the salt is. You open the cupboard, you look all up and down the thing, you can't find it. Finally, you go, hey, I can't find the salt. The person walks right in, stands right next to you, reaches right in front of your face and says, what is this? You go, well, the salt. Have you ever had an experience like that? Now I got a question for you. Did your eyes see the salt? The answer is absolutely. How come you did not become conscious of it? How come you didn't become consciously aware? How come you didn't see it mentally and emotionally? How come it wasn't there for you? The answer is you had preconceived beliefs that created what we call in psychology a scotoma, a blind spot, where literally your brain saw the salt, said, hey, here's the salt. And part of your brain said, but he said it wasn't there. We don't want to make him into a liar, so whammo, it blocks it out. You and I experience financial scotomas all the time because of our beliefs. In other words, we have beliefs, many of us, that, gosh, I shouldn't make too much money because if I make too much money, then people will judge me. Or, God, in order to make a lot of money, what do we got to do? I got to work so hard, I'd have to give up my family. Or, in order to make a lot of money, I'd probably have to take advantage of other people, and I would never do that. See, none of these things are true. You don't have to take advantage. You don't have to work your guts out. And you don't have to be in a position where you're worried all the time whether people are going to judge you or not. You don't have to be worried that if you make a lot of money, you won't be a spiritual person. What money will do for you is make you more of what you are. If you have a lot of money and you're mean, you'll get real mean. If you have a lot of money and you really care, you have more to care with. You have more you can contribute to. I support more organizations and more charities and more approaches to change now, more people than I ever dreamed of.
This program is continued on the opposite side.
But see, I had to change a belief. My belief used to be that the best way to help poor people is to be one of them. I mean, after all, why should I have more than anybody else? That's not fair, and that's what I did. I sabotaged myself over and over again. I never had enough. I was always in the position of too much month at the end of the money. But worse, it was always an emotional pressure that was on my back. I don't know if you can relate to that. I mean, I was always in a position where I'd make myself promises about what I was going to do change and then not keep them. Or I'd be in a position where I'd be embarrassed, No credit card for years and years and years because I destroyed my credit. So it's like I couldn't write a check. I'd be standing in line, they wouldn't do it. Or, having somebody check on my check and find out I bounced some, and the humiliation that went along with that. Finally, I got a credit card and then I screwed that up. That was real brilliant. I got myself to the point where I kept saying, well, money doesn't matter, but it kept showing up in my life every single day. And it was affecting the way I felt. it created a certain amount of tension, and sometimes I would take that out on myself. Sometimes it would come out in the way I treated other people because I was just frustrated. I decided one day to break free. And the way I did that was studying some of the most successful people financially, people who started with nothing and really developed some true financial success in their life. And all I did is find out what they did, and I did the same things. Within 12 months, literally, I went from totally broke to $1 million net worth. I moved from my 400 square foot bachelor apartment with no kitchen, washing my dishes in the bathtub, to my next apartment, which was a 1,200 square foot apartment, a major level of growth. A jump from $495 a month in rent to a whole $695, and that was a big stretch, to about 6 months later, I purchased the 10,000 square foot castle, literally a castle built in 1925, big 3-story turret overlooking the crashing waves of Del Mar, California. Now, I don't tell you this to impress you. I tell you because it impresses me. I'm the same person. The only thing that changed is, 1, I made a decision on exactly what I want. 2, I got a plan that was effective. I decided not to reinvent the wheel. I found people that got results starting with nothing and turned it around. I stopped running east looking for a sunset. You hear what I'm saying? I don't care how enthusiastic you are. If you got a poor plan, it's not going to work. And lesson 3, which I left out earlier, I might as well tell you now, is I got myself to take action. See, I broke through all my fears. I changed those core belief systems that had stopped me in the past and caused me to consistently sabotage my success. You know, it wasn't that I couldn't succeed. It was that just when I was about to break through each time, I would screw something up. Do you ever do that? Do you do it in your relationships? Like things are getting so close and everything else, but it's beyond your comfort zone. You're not used to being that close to somebody. So all of a sudden you say something, you do something, whammo. You can think, God, why did I do that? Or the same thing financially. You're starting to really succeed. You really go out and make things happen. Like a salesperson does that, make a lot of money, and the next month they don't do anything. And I watch it happen every single day to people. And the only way to change it is to change our core beliefs, which is exactly what Personal Power will show you how to do. How to take the beliefs that limit you and convert them to beliefs that empower you. Hey, if you don't realize the power of beliefs, I'll give you a classic example. I'm sure you've heard of the story of Roger Bannister. He was the first person to ever run a 4-minute mile. Now, before Roger broke that record, most people agreed that the human body physically couldn't move that fast. But Roger Bannister did it by applying some of the same technology that you're going to learn in your Personal Power program. He learned how to literally install beliefs in himself, and he used a series of techniques. Once he absolutely believed and knew he could run the 4-minute mile, once that was absolutely true, it wasn't just a hope, it was absolute knowledge and expectancy, he ran the 4-minute mile. Now what's interesting is, most people know that part of the story, but they don't realize that within 2 years, over 100 people ran 4-minute miles, when no one had run a 4-minute mile in literally thousands of years. Now what happened? Did the human body suddenly get stronger all around the world? Of course not. The only thing that happened was a change in beliefs. I've got to tell you, your beliefs are either the keys to your freedom, or they can also become the giant locks to the prison that keeps you from achieving what you want. Personal Power is a program in discovering your values, your core belief systems, and how to change them so you achieve what you want. It's a program that'll help you discover exactly what you want in the key areas of your life and how to achieve them with an effective set of plans. It'll give you control of your mental and emotional states of mind. It'll show you how to master your level of energy. It'll show you how to master your relationships and create the closeness you deserve on an ongoing basis, not just once in a while. And it'll show you how to get money as an issue out of your life, how to create the abundance that you really deserve. And it's done through a science called neuroassociative conditioning. Now, I know that sounds like a bunch of big words. I call it success conditioning for simplicity's sake. It is not done through affirmations where you jump up and down and go, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, and your brain goes, BS. What it is literally a scientific breakthrough that has been modeled by advertisers. In other words, listen, you and I both know that Madison Avenue has had the ability to teach us how to feel about their products. Madison Avenue has shaped a great deal of the values of our society, what people wear, what they drive, what they feel is acceptable, what they feel is not acceptable. Think about it. Isn't that really what they did in those old AT&T commercials? AT&T tried to give you the pleasure and the pain. What'd they do? They didn't come on with a commercial and say, listen, I know you miss your mother, call her. No, no, no. First they took out a big knife and they stabbed you in the chest with it, right? They came out there and they showed this poor old lady saying, gosh, my son hasn't called me in forever. I miss him. He probably doesn't even love me anymore. Oh my gosh, I'm being left alone. So all the grandmas in the world, all the moms in the world start feeling pain because they realize their son hasn't called them in at least 15 minutes. On the other side, you got American Express. Remember this one? You see two achiever people who are obviously quite successful, and they've lost their luggage. And they're in a really painful state. They're kind of angry, and all of a sudden the man turns to his wife, and being the loving man that he is, he says, "Honey, forget about the luggage. Let's just go out and buy things. Do you have your American Express card?" And of course, they're in Greece, and they're overlooking the water, and all of a sudden the man turns to his wife and says, "Gosh, I wonder where the luggage is." And she just laughs and says, "Who cares?" And on the stage comes the American Express card. So what do? You associate God. If you have an American Express card, you're going to go to Greece. Your husband's going to go buy you things. You're going to have the most absolutely fantastic life anybody could ever imagine. And the bottom line is, it works. It makes no sense, but it absolutely works. Advertisers in this country spend billions of dollars because they understand that in 60 seconds, they can change our behavior with just a little repetition, just by changing what we think about, what we link pain to, and what we link pleasure to. Watch a beer commercial. You watch a Michelob commercial, "The night belongs to Michelob." What do you see? You don't see a big fat guy with a nice big beer belly putting his arm around his buddy, hitting him on the head going, "I love you, little buddy." No, you see sex. You see movement. You see all these things happening. And as all these things are happening, you go, "Michelob, Michelob, Michelob, Michelob." So pretty soon God, people think to themselves, "I want a night like that. Give me a case of Michelob." I mean, that's the kind of conditioning that literally controls our country. Here's the point, though. As simple as that sounds, it's incredibly powerful. It works. And you and I can learn to advertise in our own minds. You will literally learn in this program a science of success conditioning. I think most of us have been conditioned to fail, not purposely, just by a variety of environmental influences. But what you'll learn, for example, is that you and I live in a stimulus response world, where if I say to you, "Winston tastes good like a," most people say, "cigarette should." Or if I say, "How do you spell relief?" Most people say ROLAIDS. They need a new course in spelling. But the bottom line is, we have been conditioned to respond that way. Don't you have some music that conditions you? Is there a song that when you hear it, instantly you think of somebody you're once in a relationship with? Are there certain ways that if somebody touches you, you just melt? I'm here to tell you that those conditioned responses you can install in yourself. In other words, for a lot of us, when we get stressed, bam, we don't even think. We just automatically reach for food, or we reach for alcohol, or we reach for a cigarette, or we reach for a television, or we do something to try and distract ourselves. See, the solution that many of us were taught in the past was do affirmations or think positive. Hey, positive thinking is nice, but it is not enough. I thought positive, my life was still a wreck. I'd been to all those seminars. I'd listened to all the tapes, and my life still wasn't working. I mean, I was an absolute mess doing my little affirmations. See, the problem with positive thinking is you got to think about it. What you need is positive programming so that you can condition yourself so the minute you get stressed, instantly, without thinking, you reach for your jogging shorts or a book or a tape or something that is going to take you to a new level rather than just trying to cover up the pain you're feeling inside or the frustration. Does that make sense? I mean, if you're overweight, there's only one reason. Your associations to food, your neuro associations, what you associate in your nervous system to food is pure pleasure. You say, "Well, gosh, I want to go on a diet." Your brain wants to avoid pain at almost any cost. Listen, if you got an addiction to chocolate and you want to lose weight and you just try and change it by affirmations or discipline, it's not going to last. Statistics show that over 90% of the people who go on diets within 2 years weigh at least 2 pounds more than before they went on the diet. See, depriving yourself is never going to work. What you got to do is condition yourself so you don't even want those foods. I will show you in this tape program literally how to make chocolate something you're repulsed by if that's what you want. I can also show you how to enhance your feelings about virtually anything through conditioning. Hey, do you remember when you first got in your relationship with somebody you really cared about and you were like so excited and everything they did was absolutely wonderful? I mean, you were just totally in love. It's like you thought about them constantly and everything they did was cute and wonderful and like you smelled the flowers and you felt so great. Remember all those feelings? And you call them up in the middle of the night and you say, "Hey, were you thinking of me?" And they said, "Yes." And you went, "Oh gosh." You remember that? How long did it last? Well, for most people, it lasts anywhere from about 60 seconds, and it goes anywhere up to about 10 or 15 years. For most people, it's in the range of a year to 3 years. And then all of a sudden, they still love the person they're with, but they don't have that same level of passion or attraction. They miss out on that. It's like there's a law that comes into play. I call it the law of familiarity. The law of familiarity says that if you're around anything enough, you take it just a little bit for granted. And what happens is you lose just a little bit of the edge in your relationship. In this program, I will show you literally how to condition yourself so that when you see your spouse, you feel the same level of attraction as when you first met them or were hoping they'd go out with you, even if they don't look the way they did when you first met them. Because listen, you've been conditioned on what to feel attracted to. 100 years ago, what was an attractive woman look like if you believed in the cultural programming? How about today? Is it the same? It's all what we've been conditioned to feel. And what I want you to know is you can take absolute control of that conditioning. You can learn to influence yourself, your children, your friends in a positive way that is powerful and that lasts. It's the science of success conditioning, and it's what personal power is all about. And each day, you will use one element of it to do everything from getting yourself to follow through and take action, break through procrastination, to create the clear goals that you really want in your life, to create a plan that will really make that work, to unleash your financial genius within you and create the wealth you deserve financially, to break through all the fears that have stopped you in the past, to increase the level of physical energy that you want, to solve the kind of problems that come up for everybody each and every day, and to challenge yourself each day to go for more, to create a greater quality of life. That's what this program's about. The purpose of this tape for me was to really develop a relationship with you, to get started on you and I working together to create some changes, to expose you to what's really possible. What are some of the lessons in life that we can master and what we can accomplish if we just take small steps each day for 30 days? I guess I can sum up everything we've talked about in one simple metaphor. I was completely out of control of my life. You're probably in much better shape than I was. I was totally broke financially. I mean major. I was broke emotionally. I felt like I had no confidence and no future, and that's why I was eating myself into oblivion, which was the third problem. I was massively overweight with no energy. And the fourth problem was I couldn't make my relationships work. I felt alone, and I didn't feel like I had a future. I turned every single one of these around in less than 12 months. And I did it not because all of a sudden somebody taught me some positive thinking or some affirmations. I'd read all those books. Up until that point in my life, I'd read almost 600 books in the area of human development. I'd been to the seminars. I'd listened to tapes. I knew what to do, but I still wasn't doing it. Why? I was missing out on the most important key to all success. It is not only knowledge. It is personal power, the ability to get yourself to take action. You and I see people every single day who have the most incredible potential, but they don't use it because they haven't learned that one skill. My challenge to you is to use the personal power that you have to at least expose yourself to this program. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Hey, listen, maybe things won't work as well for you as they have for me, but what if they did? What if you took this technology and did what I did with it? What if you turned around virtually every area of your life? The only thing standing between you and your goals is your ability to take action, discover exactly what you want, learn how to put together a plan that works, and get yourself to follow through by conditioning yourself for success. So the ball's now in your court. You can listen to this thing and say, well, gosh, an interesting tape, interesting ideas. Yeah, that stuff's probably pretty important, but, I'm kind of busy, or I don't have the money, or I'll get to it later. If that happens, then we both wasted our time together here. Remember, you have absolutely nothing to lose. If this program isn't everything that I promised you, you can return it to Guthrie Ranker Corporation for a full refund. I hope this tape has been useful for you and getting a sense of who I am, what this program is really about, and what's really possible for you. Years ago, I asked myself, what's most important in life? And for me, it's that I continually grow and learn things that can increase the quality of my life and that I share them with people in a way that truly produces results. That's what this program's about. I hope you've decided now to take action and that this is the beginning of our relationship and not the end. I want to thank you for the courtesy of your time and your interest. I know if you watched the program, had enough interest to call and have listened to this far in the tape, that our relationship is only beginning. So I look forward to chatting with you very soon through your Personal Power program. Till then, please never settle for less than you can be. Make your life the masterpiece it deserves to be. I wish you the best of success.